Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the implementation of heap. So here I will be showing you how to implement heap push along with heap pop. So I will be showing you the operations along with the code implementation at the end of the video. So this is the heap implementation part 6. So I have already made 5 videos before this one. So the prerequisite is to watch all these videos, but the important topics will be to watch extract max or extract min, and also to watch the insert element algorithms. So these all topics I have already covered in my video heap algorithms. So all the prerequisite videos link will be present in the description below. You can just go there and watch that. Now I hope you already know this. So let us continue with the implementation of heap. Now in this case I will be showing you how to do heap push as well as heap pop. Now what is heap push? Heap push is equivalent to inserting element. Okay, so by heap push we mean that we want to insert an element into the heap, right? Now let's take an example of a max heap. In this case, let's also assume that there is a boundation of the heap size. That means we will have a memory limit. So let's assume that there can be a maximum of 7 elements into the heap. Now currently you can see that in the max heap we are having heap size equals to 5. That means we are having 5 elements. So the boundary case while pushing elements into the heap is that we might run out of memory. Okay. So if we run out of memory, then that condition is known as heap overflow. So this is the boundary case. Let's assume that we want to push 6, 9 and 2. So let's first try to push this 6. Now what are the steps? Now I will be explaining you all these by using a dry run on this. Okay. So if you want to push 6, then this heap is already implemented as a complete binary tree, and I have already told you that in a complete binary tree we will be filling it from top to down and from left to right. Okay, so what is the place at which this 6 can be inserted? Well, before inserting the element you first need to verify if there is any space in the heap. So if the heap size is less than this maximum heap size, then obviously we can insert this element. There will be no overflow. In this case 5 is less than 7, and so we can insert this element 6. Now since we know that we can insert this element, where to insert it? We will be inserting in top down left to right order. So the next position which is vacant is the left child of this 5. Okay. So we can insert this element as a left child of 5. Now once we have inserted this element, obviously our heap size will increase. So heap size will be 6 now. And what we do now? So after inserting this element at the end, this might not be following the heap property. Okay. So since this is a max heap, we want the maximum element as the root of any tree or any subtree. Okay. And since we have inserted a new element, this might be greater than the parent element. So we will be applying the percolate up algorithm. So all these I have already explained in my previous videos on heap algorithms. So if you apply percolate up, then we will be checking this element which was inserted with the parent element unless we reach the root node, or if we find a parent which is greater than the current element. So here you can see that 6, which is the current element, is greater than the root. But this is a max heap, so the root should have been greater. Therefore this is not following the heap property. So we will be copying this 5 here and 6 will go here, right? Now our current node is this 6. Now we will check with the parent which is 8. Now in this case parent is greater than the current node. So this is following the heap property. So we will stop here. Okay. So now 6 has been inserted successfully. Now let us try to insert this element 9. Now before inserting we will be checking for the heap overflow case. So heap size is less than maximum heap size, and so heap overflow will not occur. Now what is the next step? We will be inserting this element from top down left to right order. So what is the next position left? The next position is the right child of this 6. Okay, this current element is 6 now. So now 9 will be inserted here. Since we have inserted an element into heap, the heap size will increase to 7 now. Okay, and now this element might not be following the heap property, max heap property in this case. So we will be applying the percolate up algorithm. Now this element 9 will be checked with the parent element 6. Now 6 is lower, but it should have been greater, right, for a max heap. So this 6 will come here and this 9 will go here. Now again our current node is 9 and our root node is 8. So 9's parent is 8. So 8 should have been greater, but no, 8 is smaller than 9. Therefore 9 will come here and 8 will come here. and since we have reached the root node, we will stop at this position, right? So now our new heap structure is 9 is the root, okay, 8 is the right child, this is 5, and this will be 6. Okay, I hope you are following this. This will be 7, this is 4, and this is 3. So this is our new heap structure. Now let's say we want to insert this element 2, that is we want to push this element 2 into the heap. So what will happen now? Well, in this case you will see that heap size is equals to maximum heap size. So we cannot insert any more element. So we will have a heap overflow in this case. So it will not be possible to insert this 2 into the heap. So this is the maximum heap size in this case. So this is how the heap push algorithm works. So this is exactly the same as the insert element algorithm which I have explained in the heap algorithms video. Okay. Now once you have understood this, let us quickly look at the algorithm. In this case, first we will check for the overflow case, which will take order of 1 time. Increase heap size by 1. Okay, in order to accommodate if there is no overflow. This will also take order of 1 time. Now we will be inserting the new element at the last position, which will be just taking order of 1 time because we are just copying it. And now we will apply the percolate up algorithm. So since this is a complete binary tree, in the worst case the maximum height will be log n, therefore the time complexity for this will be log n. Now if you take addition of all these time complexities, then the maximum among them will be order of log n, so time complexity will be order of log n, right? And the space complexity will be order of 1. Okay. Now let us look at the heap pop algorithm. Well, this is also pretty similar to the extract max or extract min algorithm, exactly the same, right? So what do you mean by heap pop? Heap pop means you want to take out the maximum element from the max heap or the minimum element from the min heap. Let's assume that we are taking a max heap. Now let's also assume that this is our given heap. Now in this case, if you want to pop an element, this means that you want to take out the maximum element from this heap, right? So what will be the boundary case in this case? So in this case, if you don't have any element in the heap, then you cannot take it out, right? So that is the boundary case. So this will cause a heap underflow if you do not have any element in the heap. Let's assume that we are having 5 elements in the heap, and so the current size is 5 and the maximum heap size is 7. Okay, so we cannot insert more than 7 elements into the heap. Now let us do the pop operations as I have mentioned here. Let's apply a single pop operation and see which element is coming out. Before applying the pop operation, you need to check if there is any element in the heap. How do you check it? If the heap size is greater than 0, that means it is having at least one element into the heap, and so we can take it out, right? So there will be no underflow. In this case, we have heap size equals to 5, there is no underflow, right? So we can apply the heap pop operation. Now what we will do is we will save this root element somewhere. Since this is a max heap, we will be taking a max variable, and now this will be storing value 9. So this is the first step, save the root. Once you have saved it, now copy this last element to the root element. So this will become 4 now, right? And once you have done this, you want to decrease the heap size. So this link will be gone and your heap size will be 4. Okay. Now once you have also decreased the heap size, you want to maintain this max heap property. So whatever last element was copied to the root, this may not be the largest element in this entire heap, and so you will have to max heapify this root element. So this is nothing but the percolate down algorithm. Okay. Now I hope you already know what is max heapify. So you will be taking the maximum of the current element left and right. So maximum is 7. So 7 will be coming here, 4 will be going here. Again 4 will be compared with this 5. So 5 is maximum, so 5 will come here and 4 will go to the leaf node. So this is how we will pop the element, and now we can simply return this maximum element which was 9. Okay, so popping an element here returns 9. Let's apply this pop operation again. So what we will do is first we will check for the underflow case. So heap size is 4, which is greater than 0. So obviously we can take out an element. Now what is the maximum element? Maximum element is 7. So this max variable will be storing 7, right? And the next step is to copy the last element, which is this 4, to the root. So 4 will be copied here, right? So 4 is now the root element, and we will be decreasing the heap size by 1. So heap size will now become 3. Okay. And again we will be applying max heapify to this root element because this may not be the largest element in this entire heap. So now currently the heap structure is 4 is the root, 5 is the left child, and 6 is the right child. So if we apply max CP5 on this root, then it will be checked with the left child as well as the right child. So which one is maximum? 6 is maximum. So 6 will become the root and 4 will come here. Okay. Now max CP5 is done because 4 is the leaf node. So we will be returning the maximum variable 7. So the pop operation will return 7 here. Like this, we can apply pop operations multiple times. Let's assume that in the next pop operation, what will be returned? The next maximum, which will be 6. So 6 will be returned. Heap size will become 2. In the next pop operation, 5 will be returned. Okay, heap size will become 1. In the next pop operation, 4 will be returned and heap size will become 0. Now if you apply pop operation again, then since heap size is 0, it is saying that there is no element in this heap. And so this will return heap underflow. Okay. So these are all the conditions and steps in order to do heap pop. I hope you were able to understand this. Now let us quickly look at the algorithm. The first step is to check for the underflow. So this will take just order of 1 time. The second step is to save the root element, which will take order of 1 time. Third step is to copy the last element to the root. It will also take order of 1 time. Fourth step is to decrease the heap size, also takes order of 1 time. Fifth step is to max CP5 or to min CP5, which will take order of log n time. Okay, because in a complete binary tree we can have height of the tree as log n. So if you are using a max heap, then we will be doing max CP5. Otherwise, if you are using a min heap, we will be doing a min CP5. Time complexity of this algorithm will be order of log n, while the space complexity can range from order of 1 to order of log n. If you are applying by using recursion, it will be log n. Otherwise, by using while loop, it will be just order of 1. Okay. So I hope you were able to understand both the heap push and heap pop algorithms. Let us now look at the code. This is a simple code for implementing max heap. I will also be providing you the code for min heap implementation. Okay. Now we will be starting with the init function. Init function will be assigning heap size equals to 0. Heap size is a global variable. Okay. Now I have implemented it using a switch case statement. This is very simple to understand and very simple to implement, right? So I have provided 4 options. Either you want to push an element, you want to pop an element, you want to see what elements are present in the heap. So this will be showing elements in the form of an array, because heap is implemented as an array, right? And this 4th option is to terminate all these operations. We want to get out of this switch case statement. So these are the 4 operations which I have implemented. Now in the switch case, I have taken like 2 variables, option as well as element. So first we will have to select the option which we want to select. So there are 4 options, as I said. Now let's say that you want to push an element. Then we will be selecting option 1. So this is case 1. In this case, we will be giving an element as input, and then heap push will be called by passing that element. So this element will be inserted into our heap, and then we will break out, and again this will come 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, these all options will be shown again. Now we can again make our choice. Let's say in the second case we will be popping an element, so we will be selecting option 2. Okay, now heap pop will be returning whatever element is popped. Okay, so whatever element was present as root, that will be returned here and it will get printed, and again we will be breaking out. Again these options will be coming. Okay, now let's say that we are choosing this option 3, which is show heap. So in this case we will be seeing all the elements of the heap in an array. Okay, and if you select this 4th option, then we will be returning from this entire code. Okay, so it will never run again. So this is the simple implementation. Now let us look at the heap push operation first. So this is the global variable. So the heap is also global, as well as size is equals to 1001. This is the maximum heap size. Okay, and this is the current heap size, which is heap size variable. Now in order to implement heap push, we need an element. So this element is value. Now first we will be checking for the overflow case. So if the heap size is greater than equals to whatever size is present here, that is 1001, then obviously it will cause an overflow, since you do not have any more space, right? And if there is no overflow, then we will be proceeding to the heap push algorithm. So what was the first step here? First step was to check for overflow. Second step was, if overflow doesn't occur, then we will be increasing the heap size. So this increasing heap size, you can bring it to the front position as well, but I have kept it at the last position. Now you want to insert this value to the last position, right? So these are having heap size number of elements, so it will range from 0 to heap size -1. Okay, now if you are inserting at heap size, that means you are inserting it at last position. Now current index is heap size, which is the currently inserted elements index. Okay, now you will be applying the percolate up algorithm. So this is the percolate up algorithm. I have already explained this in the previous videos. So after doing this, I have incremented the heap size. You can also increment it in the beginning, right? So this was the heap push algorithm. Now let us look at the heap pop algorithm. So in this heap pop algorithm, first we will be checking for underflow, right? So once there is no underflow can occur if the heap is having no elements. If there is no underflow, then we will be moving to the next step. So the current element, because we want to pop an element, so popping an element means we want to remove the root. Okay, so root is having index 0. This is index 0. Okay, so current is index 0. We will be popping an element, so we will have to save it somewhere. So we will be saving in the popped variable, and that will be storing heap at 0. In this case, since this is a max heap, it will be the maximum element. Okay, now we were copying the last element to the root element. So this is the last element, heap at heap size -1. Last element is copied to the root element, heap at 0. Once that is done, we were removing this link. Okay, removing this link means we are reducing the heap size by 1. Okay, now after all these steps are done, we were applying the max heapify algorithm. So let us now see the max heapify. I have already explained this max heapify in my previous videos, so I will quickly go through this. In order to max heapify an element, what are the conditions? In this case, if an element here is x and if this is y and this is z, okay, then if you want to max heapify this element, then what should be the condition? There should be at least a left child or a right child. Okay, so 2 into current plus 1 means that there is a left child, because 2 into current plus 1 less than heap size means there is a left child. This current node is not a leaf node. We will stop max heapify if we reach a leaf node. So this here checks for a leaf node. If we are not at the leaf node, we will proceed with the max heapify. Now we will check if we do not have a right child. If we do not have a right child, then obviously this child will be assigned to only the left child. Otherwise, if we have both left as well as right child, then we will be taking the maximum of left or right child. Okay, so this could have just been written in a single line, but I have just written it like this for simplicity. So we are assigning the index having the maximum value to this child. If the left child is having maximum value as compared to right child, then we will assign the left child to child. Otherwise, we will assign right child to child. I hope you understood this. Once we take the maximum of y, z, so child will be equals to maximum of y, z. Okay, so in this case, y is the index and z is also the index. Okay, you should not confuse it with the value. This is index, this is also index. Okay, now once you have taken that maximum value index, then we will be comparing this child with the root node. Okay, so since this is a max heap, so the root should be greater. But if x happens to be lower than the child value, that is heap at current is less than heap at child, then we will have to again swap the values. So this is the swap code. Okay, we will be swapping the values, and again current will be pointing to the child index. Okay, and again we will be repeating this entire process again and again. So where will we stop? We will stop if we reach a leaf node. Okay, so this is the condition which is checking for the leaf node. And second condition is that if the root node is greater than both the left as well as the right child, then also we will stop there, right? So after ending this max heapify, whatever value was popped will be returned. Okay, so this is the entire implementation of heap push as well as heap pop. I hope you were able to understand this. If you have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I will try to help you as soon as possible. If you like our work, then please consider joining our channel and support us on Patreon. This will help us bring more quality videos for you. See you in our next video. Thank you.